the president of the institute, our royal fathers, board management of the institute, the registrar, distinguished peace ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, our invited guests. It's a great honor and privilege to stand before you this morning. I do not take this honor for granted. And to the institute, I want to say thank you. The Bible tells us in Matthew 5:9 that blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. And right here this morning, I see beautiful and handsome faces of children of God. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. This morning, I'm called upon to make a presentation on the role of women in peace building in Nigeria. And I pray that at the end of this paper, I would have agitated your minds. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There are some presenters who will do better, but from my little knowledge, I pray you pardon my lapses. The role of women in peace building in Nigeria. Introduction. The significant roles women play in all aspects of life cannot be overstated. Throughout history, women have been pivotal in restoring sanity and peace, both in Nigeria and across the globe. Unfortunately, they are often the most affected by conflict and unrest, which makes it even more imperative for them to think creatively and collaboratively to resolve issues that may lead to war. In Nigeria, particularly in the northeastern region, decades of violence and instability have had devastating effects on communities and individuals. Recent survey reports highlight the vital contributions women make to peace-building efforts. For instance, a study by the United Nations Development Programme (UNDP) revealed that communities with active women participation in peace initiatives are 35% more likely to sustain peace over the long term. Furthermore, a survey conducted by the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom found that women-led organizations in Nigeria have been instrumental in mediating conflicts and facilitating dialogue, demonstrating that their involvement is crucial for achieving lasting peace. Despite these challenges, women have emerged as vital agents of change, leveraging their unique perspectives and experiences to promote peace and reconciliation. This paper exploits the essential contribution of women to peace building in Nigeria, highlighting their resilience, leadership, and innovative approaches in the face of diversity. Now, what is peace building? Peace building refers to actions taken to address the root causes of conflict, prevent the recurrence of violence, and lay the groundwork for sustainable peace. It encompasses not just the formal negotiation and signing of peace agreement, but also the longer term processes of social, political, and economic reconstruction. So, peace is not the absence of conflict. If you are looking for a total world peace, you cannot get it. We should not deceive ourselves. But peace is the ability to manage that conflict. Now, a king called various artists to depict peace on a canvas. A lot of artists made their presentation, but only one winner emerged. Do you know what the artist did? On his canvas, he drew like a storm. There was turbulence, and in the midst of that unrest, in the midst of that turbulence, was this little bird in a nest by the corner, sleeping peacefully in the midst of that turbulence. So peace is not the absence of storms, of conflict, of turbulence, but it's your calmness, your serenity in the midst of that conflict. So peace building entails finding out the root cause of the conflict. Let me use illustration or analogy of an onion. You have an onion, you peel off one layer. As you peel off one layer, you get to another layer. So in the effort to make peace, you must get to the root cause. Also, let me use a tree. You have a tree, you have the roots, you have the stems, the branches, and all that. If you want to address conflict and you now go to the leaves, you are wasting your time. You must first of all try to decipher what is the root cause of this conflict. Why are this group of persons agitating? So once you start that way, you might get to the root cause of that problem, and then you might find a solution or a way to resolve that conflict. You even start from your homes. Probably there's a problem between spouses and you are the mediator. You come in, you listen to only one party. You did not give a listening ear or a fair hearing to the other party. You are only wasting your time. You must try to address it from the root cause. And most times you see people, adults, that misbehave or they deviate from certain norms. Trace it back to their childhood. Probably that baby was abused as a child and is taking it back on the society. That person you see who is a drunkard or a drunk or somebody that is addicted to drugs, find out the root cause of that issue. If not, you are just treating the symptoms. So, in order to find lasting peace in the society, you must find out the cause of the conflict. You prevent the recurrence of that violence. Then you lay a groundwork for sustainable peace. And in the effort to reconstruct the society, women play a vital and critical role. Look at it throughout history. From the Arabian history, you go to the northern part of Nigeria, you have the Queen Amina of Zazzau. You have Moremi. You have a lot of great women throughout history that have played pivotal roles. And thank God this morning we have great women in our midst also who are playing great roles wherever they find themselves. You know, anywhere you make an influence, your sphere of influence, you are a leader. From your homes, you are leaders. And how do you make peace in your homes? Have you even found peace within yourself? To make peace in the society, you must first of all find peace within yourself. Let me have the next slide. So, the importance of women in peace building. Women's participation in peace building processes is crucial for several reasons. One, to ensure inclusivity. We see that during periods of conflicts, of unrest, the society tends to exclude a lot of persons, particularly the weak, the vulnerable, the disabled, women, children. So, for women to find themselves in peace building efforts, they must be ready to ensure that this group of persons are not left out. They are included in whatever project or peace building effort you make as women. So women bring different perspectives to peace building processes. While traditional peace negotiations may focus on security concerns or military power, women often emphasize human security, social justice, and the protection of vulnerable populations. You know, by nature, women are tender. Let me say majority of women are tender. So we bring in our femininity into whatever we do. So as a woman, there's a way you will talk to your man, you talk to your husband, you talk to the woman in your sphere of influence, that they will give a listening ear to you. So there are skills that women need to develop. You need to develop interpersonal skills. You need to develop your emotional and social intelligence, your spiritual intelligence. You need to know how to address issues. There are trainings, and thank God for the institute. We have a lot of training courses you will undergo to equip you. Don't think you know it all. By the time you go back to your books, you go through training, you'll be surprised. There are other approaches, other ways to address issues. So building long-term stability. Research has shown that peace agreements are more likely to last when women are involved in their creations. We have this story in the Bible about a city that was to be destroyed, but a woman through her wisdom was able to save that city. So, build long-term stability. So, according to UN Women, peace agreements that include women are 35% more likely to last at least 15 years. So there's a need to involve women in peace processes and agreement. Women's role in peace building focus not only on the cessation of violence, but also on creating institutions and societal norms that promote long-term stabilities. We'll be able to map up programs, map up programs, come up with programs that are sustainable, that will build lasting peace. So, addressing gender inequality. Women's involvement is essential for ensuring that peace-building processes prioritize gender equality. In many conflict zones, women suffer disproportionately from violence, displacement, and exploitation. By including women in peace processes, there is a greater chance of addressing these inequalities and creating a more just and equitable post-conflict society. You can see that even in the IDP camps. I think I read a report last year that the number of babies born in the camps are alarming, and you'll be surprised that most of these teenage girls, women, are exploited. So organizations come there, have talks with them, bring up programs, educate them. They will know how to properly take care of themselves, even during that period of unrest and displacement. Not only women. When we talk about gender equality, we are also talking about men and boys. I hope you know that boys and men also face abuse, exploitation. So gender refers to both sexes. So successful involvement of women in peace building. Throughout history, women have played key roles in conflict resolution and peace building, even when their contributions have often been overlooked. Several examples demonstrate how women's participation has led to successful peace-building outcomes. You know, most times women are viewed as the weaker sex. But I can boldly tell you that women are strong. We are strong. Is it from the traditional roles we play? Is it from childbirth, taking care of the home, and all that? Thank God the times are changing. The roles of women are changing. Yes, we are not in a gender war with the men, no. A woman who knows her worth knows that she's not in a gender war with a man. You are supposed to play your traditional role, be submissive to your man at home, perform your duties in the society that play a role. We see a balanced home, a balanced society. Sorry, some of these feminists have got it all wrong. Feminism does not mean you go home and equate yourself with your man or fight your man. A submissive woman will bring her man to her knees if you know the right thing to do. So we see a lot of examples. The women of Liberia. One of the most prominent examples of women's leadership in peace building is in Liberia. During the civil war that ravaged the country from 1989 to 2003, women led the Women of Liberia Mass Action for Peace movement, which organized mass protests and advocated for the cessation of violence. You can see how powerful women can be. Can we remember the Aba Women Riot? See, whenever women unite and come out, we always get results. So their efforts were instrumental in ending the war and in paving a way for peace agreement. Lima Bowie, a leader of this movement, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2011 for her role in bringing about peace. We also see the Northern Ireland Women's Coalition in Northern Ireland. The Women's Coalition played a vital role in the peace process that culminated in the 1998 Good Friday Agreement. The coalition, made up of women from different political and religious backgrounds, was instrumental in advocating for an inclusive process that recognized the importance of gender equality and the needs of marginalized people in the negotiation. You can see it. This group of women, they included marginalized group in their peace negotiations. When nobody feels left out in the society, you can see that society will advance progressively. The inclusion of women helped ensure that the peace agreement addressed issues such as community reconciliation and human rights. You know that during times of conflict, there's a lot of human rights abuses. A lot. Some are even unrecorded. So Rwanda post-genocide reconstruction. In Rwanda, women were at the forefront of the post-genocide rebuilding effort following the 1990s. We are all aware of what happened in Bosnia, Rwanda, and all those nations. But I can bet you that if you go to Rwanda now, you know there was any war there. Why? Collective and collaborative effort of all groups involved. So Nigerians, bring back our girls movement. In Nigeria, women have been active in combating insurgency like Boko Haram. They bring back our girls movement, led largely by women, gained international attention following the 2014 abduction of 276 schoolgirls by Boko Haram. This movement not only called for the girls' release, but also highlighted the critical role of women in advocating for peace and holding both local and international actors accountable. You know, there was a lot of media frenzy. Even till date, people are not silent, and by the grace of God, a lot of those girls have been rescued, but some are still left in captivity. But we know that one day they will be free. So women do not keep quiet in times of unrest, of conflict. So women's role in peace building across conflict context. Women as negotiators and mediators. So we see women as great negotiators and mediators in times of conflict. Women they participate in peace negotiations, which bring about unique perspective, focus on long-term stability, human rights, social justice. And we also saw that in Northern Ireland. So women as agents of social healing and reconstruction. After conflict, women are often the ones to lead efforts in rebuilding communities, not just physically, but socially and culturally. In Rwanda, for example, women were central to national reconciliation efforts, providing psychosocial support to survivors and helping to establish gender-sensitive policies that promoted healing and social integration. You know, even after the period of unrest has, lapsed, or there's effort to reconstruct, a lot has happened. We have a lot of victims, survivors that need to go through social healing, medical, therapies and all that. We have those that are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorders and all that. In Nigeria, we downplay mental health. I often tell participants anywhere I go to deliver a paper or make a presentation, please take care of your mental health. A lot is going on in the society. Some of us, we look gorgeously dressed. By the time we go back home, we go back on our pillows, either we are weeping or we are passing through one thing or the other, but nobody will know, because we smile, we go about our roles as if there is nothing wrong. But we have a lot of mental health units. Go to your medical center, please go and talk to a consultant. Probably by talking to a consultant, he will listen to you. As he's listening to you, he's already taking his notes. Might get you a drug or maybe just therapy. Just talking to that person, you start receiving your healing. Please don't just keep your issues to yourself. Get a trained physiotherapist or psychiatric doctor or somebody to talk to. So collaboration with Women's Association, FIDA, and other female-led organizations. We have the International Federation of Women Lawyers. We deal mainly with women and vulnerable persons in the society, children. So women organizations such as FIDA and other grassroots groups have been instrumental in advancing women's rights, promoting peace, and supporting post-conflict recovery. This FIDA also take up advocacy on behalf of this group of persons. Yes, men are not left out also, but some people view these women organizations negatively. They feel they are home breakers. No, we do not break homes. We advocate for these women, particularly women passing through all forms of abuse. Thank God the FIDA National now, we now have a center that will house women that are distressed for some time till they are able to probably reconcile with their husbands, be reintegrated back into the society. And I'm happy to tell you that we have the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act and laws. It's no longer business as usual. So we have the also provision for protection orders. If you feel your life is threatened, whether you are a man or a woman or a child, please approach the courts for a protection order. It can be made temporal or absolute. Just approach the courts. Don't keep it to yourself. I hope you know that some men even pass through abuse in the hands of their wives. Don't be shy. Don't keep quiet and die there. The law has provided remedies. And also, you can also approach the multi-door courthouse. There, you see trained personnel, even the judges that are trained in ADR, that is alternative dispute resolution. They bring the parties together. They are mediators, negotiators, and conciliators. They bring you together and see how they can mediate and reconcile the parties. Where it fails, then you go back to the court and then probably go on with your action. But first of all, please try and mediate. Try and subject yourself to mediation. That is all, all peace building is all about. Let it start from each and every one of us. So we have other key women organizations involved in peace building. We have Pan-African Initiative focused on preventing electoral violence. We have also organizations in Liberia and all over the world. We have the National Council of Women's Society. For want of time, I don't want to go through all. So what are the barriers to women's participation in peace building? One, we have socio-cultural barriers, we have structural barriers, and security concerns. Women were vulnerable. Women can be subjected to rape, kidnapping, and all sorts. So even in your peace building effort, you need to be security conscious. So what are the recommendations for enhancing women's participation in peace building? 1. Institutionalize gender responsive peace building frameworks. Strengthen women's network and civil society organizations. Address socio-cultural barriers through education and awareness campaigns. There is need for education, awareness campaign. Most persons are not, some people are not even aware that these groups exist. There's this man that is making also a lot of waves on the social media and even physically. Ordinary president. I always watch his programs. That man is really trying. He's trying. It's his own effort towards peace building in the society. So promote gender equality through education. Engage men and women as allies. We have some men that call themselves he for she. They are also involved with the women. We thank them. Create safe spaces for women's participation. Ensure security for women peace builders. Develop gender sensitive protection mechanisms. Encourage men's support for women leadership in peace building. Promote male champions of women's leadership. Foster collaborative approaches. Enhance women's access to decision making platforms. Increase women's representation in political and peace negotiation bodies. Thank God so far for the percentage of women in politics, but we still need more women to be involved. One day we pray that we get a woman president in Nigeria. Also, promote international accountability for women's rights in peace building. Hold government and peace actors accountable. Focus on gender sensitive post-conflict reconstruction. Ensure women's participation in economic and political reconstruction. And then conclusion. The role of women in peace building is undeniable. From grassroots movement to high-level negotiations, women have shown their ability to drive change, mediate conflicts, and foster reconciliation. Their inclusion in peace processes leads to more sustainable and inclusive peace. Yet, barriers to their full participation remain, and overcoming these challenges is crucial for the future of peace building. As demonstrated by successful cases in Liberia, Rwanda, Northern Ireland, and Nigeria, women's leadership and contribution are vital in achieving lasting peace and social justice. Gender-inclusive peace-building frameworks are not just beneficial, they are essential for ensuring that peace processes address the needs of all and are capable of creating lasting, transformative peace. Please, the Institute, I want this put on the platform for those that are interested in the paper. And once more, I thank the Institute and I thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for giving me your ears. Obrigado.